Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty unique.
Yeah. What do we got?
It's a channeled message, apparently from the Pleiadian Council of Light, came via the YouTube channel EUSOULUZ Divina.
Ah, okay. Channeled material. So messages purported to be from, well, non-physical sources.
Exactly. And look, our mission here isn't really to debate where it came from.
Right. More about the content itself.
Yeah, we want to pull out the core ideas, the actionable stuff, make it relevant for you listening, especially with all the energy happening in July.
So kind of translating it.
Think of it as a shortcut, maybe, a way to understand this specific, quite potent perspective on everything shifting right now, personally and global.
Okay, got it. So we're focusing on the insights, the themes, seeing how they might connect with people's own experiences.
Perfect. So let's jump in. The message kicks off calling July a cosmic metronome.
A metronome.
Yeah, like it's speeding up time, but also somehow inviting us to experience eternity in a single breath. Bit of a paradox there. And it connects this feeling to the 1960s awakening, but says it's much stronger now because of new ultra-luminous light bands.
Right. Things that weren't accessible back then. So what does this cosmic metronome idea really mean for someone listening?
Well, it suggests you might feel this real push-pull with time this month.
Like things racing ahead 1 minute, then incredibly still the next.
Exactly. The point seems to be this amplified energy, this intensity could speed up growth, maybe reveal things faster. It's asking us to really engage with it.
Okay. And then there's this mention of photonic brilliance and Gaia's crystalline body. Sounds very cosmic.
It does. What's the practical angle on that?
Well, think of it like intense new light, new energy, information maybe, coming from the sun, but also from the earth itself.
Okay.
The message says this light is kissing the dormant divine code in your spine, which sounds dramatic, but practically it means our nervous systems might be tuning in, trusting this vast electrical ocean of Earth's energy.
So we might just feel more sensitive to the sun, to the planet.
Exactly. It's kind of an invitation to trust your gut, your body's signals more.
Yeah.
Feel that connection.
And that connects to this shift from separate lifeboats to flotilla consciousness. What are they getting at there?
That's a big one. It's about moving beyond feeling isolated, like you're all alone in your little boat.
Right.
Towards realizing we're all interconnected, moving like one unified fleet.
So less individualism, more collective.
Precisely. A deeper sense of shared journey, shared responsibility. What helps one, helps everyone. That kind of thinking.
Powerful idea. But they do include a warning, don't they, about trying to navigate this just with your head.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Relying only on the wax of the intellect, as they put it.
That'll lead to being quickly unbalanced.
Right, so just thinking your way through won't cut it. The message stresses surrender and faith.
Letting the curve of each wave speak to you. Like a conversation.
Yeah, feeling it, not just analyzing it. It points towards needing your intuition, that inner knowing, to guide you through these intense energies.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Globally, the message has a pretty bold take on current events, doesn't it?
It does. It frames what looks like chaos, social disturbances, as sacred purification. Like a centrifuge spinning things out.
Separating what is real from what is worn out. That's quite a reframe.
It is. They call it an energetic detoxification. The idea is that all the collective anger, division, and fear we see, it's like poison coming to the surface to be cleared.
And it mentions things hidden in shadows coming to light.
Yes. Ancient agreements, secret negotiations, unjust systems, all being exposed by July's ultraviolet honesty, as they term it.
Wow.
The claim is strong. No pact made in darkness can withstand these new frequencies of light.
So the takeaway for you listening is, if you're seeing turmoil, maybe don't just see randomness or breakdown.
Right. This view suggests it's a necessary clearing.
Yeah.
An unveiling of truth, like the body pushing out toxins to heal itself.
Okay, let's bring it back to the personal level now. Because the message says, even if you feel devoted to the light, you might still have old stuff surfacing.
Yeah, old residues inwardly.
Yeah.
Like sudden anger or sadness or even shame popping up unexpectedly.
Which can be confusing.
Definitely. But this is where the merciful alchemy comes in. The advice is, don't judge yourself for feeling these things. Instead, transform the energy. And they offer a technique.
Oh, yeah.
Breathing the discomfort through your solar plexus. Imagining the breath carrying that dense emotion down into the earth.
For Gaia's loving alchemy.
Exactly. The idea is that the earth transforms that personal turbulence into like fertile soil for everyone. So your personal clearing helps the whole collective.
A ripple effect.
Yeah.
And this fits with the idea of ascension being a spiral journey, right? Not just a straight climb.
Yes, that's a really key point. It's not a ladder you just go up. It's described as a vortex with ever-expanding orbits.
So when old patterns show up again, it's not failure.
Not at all. It means you're encountering them again, but from a higher viewpoint. You've grown.
Ah, I see. A chance to reclaim parts of yourself.
Exactly. And to bring new compassion, new wisdom to those old experiences. You're meeting them differently this time.
They call it vertical memory integration, like layers stacking up.
Yeah, lifetimes of experience stacking like transparent laminates. It sounds complex, but the advice is simple.
Which is?
Meet these returning challenges with curiosity, not frustration.
Ask yourself, what nuance of love or forgiveness haven't I applied here yet?
Right. It reframes it completely. There's no failure here, only deeper levels of mastery. It's all learning.
Okay. Expanding out again, the message talks about power structure shifting.
Yeah,
globally.
Big time. Alliances and power structures will shift with the sudden force of a summer storm. That's the quote.
Wow. So away from the old hierarchies.
Exactly. Moving away from rigid top-down control towards something more like nature's mycelial networks.
Fungi networks, spreading underground.
Yeah, think of that. Resilient, interconnected, no single command center. July's energy, it says, really pushes for this horizontal, heart-centered cooperation.
And it talks about hidden collaborators emerging.
Yes. This is fascinating. Councils and communities of creators, farmers, artists, scientists, healers, people who've been working quietly.
And they don't fit old labels like elite or common.
No, because they operate by resonance of purpose. It's not about status, it's about shared intention.
So for you listening, the takeaway is?
Your inner frequency is key. That's your most important credential.
Meaning things like joy, integrity, generosity.
Those are the keys, apparently, to connect with these emerging groups. But ego, status-seeking, anger, that won't work.
Only heart coherence and clarity of intention. Those are the passports needed.
Right. Your inner state is what matters most now.
Okay, let's get physical. The message is pretty direct about our bodies changing. Significant upgrades, it says, acting as living stargates.
Yeah, and you might actually feel this. Things like sudden waves of heat or chills, maybe feeling dizzy or lightheaded for just a moment.
Or ringing in the ears.
Yes, high-pitched tones or new ringing. The message says these aren't just random things. They're signs your cellular antenna are tuning to higher signals.
And our DNA is unfurling to interact with plasmatic sunlight.
Okay, plasmatic sunlight. What's a more grounded way to think about that?
Well, think of it as a really highly charged, maybe intelligent solar energy.
Okay.
Interacting with our energy fields, even our DNA. The core idea is our bodies are literally evolving to handle more light, more information.
So the physical sensations are just adaptation, like tuning a radio.
That's a good analogy, your body adjusting to a clearer, stronger signal.
And there are tips to help with this. Sacred technologies.
Yes. First, hydration. But not just drinking water.
No.
Water structured with intention and love acts as a liquid software update.
Yeah.
So consciously putting good vibes into your water.
Interesting. And the vagus nerve.
Right, the master regulator of calm. It's apparently becoming more important as a translator for these energies.
So what do we do?
Practice breathing that lengthens the exhale. That signals safety to your nervous system.
So it's this paradox again. The more chaotic it gets outside.
The more stability you can find inside. Through breath, through grounding.
Makes sense.
Now, the emotional side again. A great wave of collective grieving in July.
Yes, and not just about recent stuff. It goes deep.
Long repressed sorrows from past eras.
Right, and it gives specific examples like echoes of Atlantis, Lemuria, medieval times.
Wow.
Mourning, lost wisdom, lost ways of being. All these rivers of sorrow are converging now, asking to be felt.
And the advice is just, let it happen. Let the tears come.
Pretty much, don't judge it. Don't try to bottle it up.
Yeah.
The salt in tears is described as a sacred solvent.
Dissolving karmic pain. What's that exactly?
Think of it as old baggage. Stuck patterns, inherited stuff, collective wounds, things that cause suffering and blockages.
So tears are literally a release, helping you shed that stuckness.
That's the idea. A profound release, making space.
It's alchemical then.
Yes. Tears are welcomed by beams of healing light they called Eliac fire, sunlight of spirit, and transformed into wisdom and compassion.
And there are simple rituals suggested.
Yeah, like gentle sounds, Tibetan bowls, drawing or writing, and maybe burning it or just sitting by the ocean.
Letting the waves help.
Right, and the outcome. As the sorrow lifts, divine joy will naturally flow into that cleared space.
Okay, what about the mind? The mental challenge. July pushes us beyond analysis, right?
Yes, away from the traps of analysis towards openness and enchantment. Because old ways of understanding, old narratives...
You're collapsing.
Yeah, collapsing under the weight of incoming truth. And it's happening faster than our logical minds can keep up.
Leading to paradigm paralysis, feeling stuck.
Right. So the mind needs a new job. Not being the jailer of certainty, the cartographer of enchantment, using the mind to map new ideas, dreams, intuitions, having gentle inner dialogues.
So, using the mind creatively, not rigidly.
Exactly.
And practically. How do we foster that? The no input zone idea.
Yes, crucial. Taking time away from the constant stream of information. News, social media, even spiritual stuff sometimes. Just be. It lets your brain recalibrate, tune into those subtler signals from source, the ones usually drowned out.
And that's where breakthroughs happen.
Gently, yes. Like bubbles rising from a calm lake.
Yeah.
So July rewards balancing doing with being, active creation with receptive stillness.
Okay, let's talk Earth. Gaia's energy is dancing in unexpected ways.
That's how it's put, and it affects us directly. Things like spikes in Schumann resonance.
That Earth heartbeat frequency.
Right. Or auroras seen in unusual places, maybe brief tech disruptions.
And this means?
Gaia's Kundalini life force is rising. Planetary grids are shifting. Certain spots on Earth are getting highly activated.
So we might feel drawn somewhere.
Exactly. You might get this sudden urge to travel or move somewhere specific without logically knowing why.
Trust that feeling.
The message says yes. You might be acting as a conscious Earth energy worker, guided by a bigger plan.
So how do we consciously connect with this?
There's a simple ceremony suggested. Bare feet on the ground, hands on a tree or rock, breathing love into the earth, and then just quietly listening, receiving. It adds your light to the global web and helps soften these energy waves for everyone.
Okay, this next point feels really central. The message says no one's coming to save us.
Right. No great cosmic event, nor any higher dimensional being will come save humanity against its will, nor do they need to.
The message is, you are your own saviors.
Which is huge. It's empowering, maybe a bit scary, like you said.
So what does that mean for things like solar flares or big revelations?
They're seen as external catalysts, but ultimately they're mirrors, reflecting humanity's collective choices, the internal shifts we've already made.
So it puts the power, the responsibility back on us.
Completely. No waiting around to be rescued.
And the key for July is persistence.
Yeah. Expect the unexpected and try to meet it all with a kind of calm knowing. Like you remember helping write this story.
Remembering we designed some of these challenges ourselves before birth.
That's the idea. To use them as catalysts for waking up. Remembering that helps you find this unshakable peace.
The calm of a fifth dimensional consciousness.
Right. Which just means being rooted in love, unity, higher awareness, even while living in this chaotic world.
And choosing love over fear, compassion over judgment.
That is exercising your sovereignty. That is co-creating a better reality, actively.
Okay, let's try to tie this all together. July's energy is about seeing the great intertwining, right? Material, mental, spiritual.
Yes, seeing that even with all the chaos on the surface,
The volatility,
underneath there are these powerful cosmic alignments, sending frequencies that expose what's false.
And the light isn't meant to hurt, but to illuminate.
Exactly. The chaos is just old energies flailing as their disguises dissolve, like the darkest hour before dawn.
So for those of us feeling it strongly, stargazers, light workers, the advice is...
Recognize the noise outside, but don't let it in. Observe, don't absorb.
Noise is nothing more than a signal not yet integrated. I like that.
It's a great line. It encourages us to be compassionate witnesses, to find that calm eye in the center of the storm.
Because that inner peace is wisdom in action. It creates stability.
Right. And living a spiritual life incarnated means your inner state, your connection to source, becomes your starting point for everything, not the external drama.
And the practical antidote when we get distracted.
That rhythmic, deliberate return to your inner sanctuary.
Just closing your eyes for a minute, focusing below the navel, breathing.
Yes. Until you feel that connection, that earth heartbeat in your own heart, grounding yourself.
And in that space,
lack dissolves.
Yeah.
Striving dissolves. Prayer becomes listening. Stillness fills you.
And a gentle certainty emerges that everything is unfolding okay.
Exactly. And doing this literally upgrades your system to handle more light, more creativity. It lets you be the calm center, lead by resonance.
Okay, one last major theme. Quantum healing.
Mhm.
True healing isn't fixing something broken.
But revealing the wholeness that was always there, hidden by illusion.
And many problems, physical conflicts, lack, are seen as miscreations, born from old beliefs.
Yes. And July's energy amplifies everything, so holding on to negativity can make it seem worse, but it also gives you a faster chance to choose differently.
And the healing posture is silent beholding. How does that work?
You notice a disturbance, pain, conflict, whatever, but you consciously refuse to feed it energy. No panic, no attachment.
Just acknowledge it, and then...
Silently affirm in your heart that behind the appearance, the perfect essence of life is still whole, intact.
you withdraw the energy feeding the problem.
That's the principle.
Yeah.
Allowing inherent balance to return,
Yeah.
your perspective shifts the outcome.
And July turbocharges this. Changes can happen much faster.
That's the claim. Potential for rapid shifts, blossoming in days or hours, not months.
So the final advice there is keep your heart open, with mercy for all sides.
Yes, become that channel for miracles. Knowing your own healing helps heal others too, through compassionate awareness.
So as we wrap up, the core message seems to be about recognizing your own power, your own role in this awakening.
Absolutely. Your presence, your intention, your light. It all matters immensely. Don't underestimate it.
Walk with confidence, humility, discernment, faith, even when it feels tough.
And remember, you're not alone. The Star Brothers and Sisters, as the message calls them, are allies, mirrors, family, not saviors.
Right. Okay, so maybe the final thought for you listening is this. How will you lean into July's energies to trust the perfection of this moment and become that calm eye in the center of your own storm?